All right, it's time for Random Ramblings Wednesday. We're back. JP.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. It's time for a nap for me.
It really is. I'm tired. We had a chamber thing, and we had to listen to them talk about the school system, which probably is very interesting if you're into the school system, but neither one of us have a kid in the school system, nor do we really work with the school system. Yeah. So it was, needless to say, it was not a good morning for me to have gotten no sleep last night.
Yeah, I was going to say we should definitely clarify Chamber of Commerce. I don't want them to think you have some kind of freaky sex chamber where we hang out on Wednesday mornings and,
Absolutely not.
Like,
that's for Saturday mornings.
Drape ourselves in latex and leather.
Well, we started getting into that polyester stuff now, but...
Yeah.
But like I said, that's more of a Saturday morning thing, man. Yeah. But,
I'll grant you. I'll grant you that.
But so this is the if you found us randomly, if you subscribe to us, you probably know exactly what these are. But if you found us randomly floating around on the interwebs, Random Ramblings Wednesday is just the point of which where we talk about whatever. And language and content warning, this conversation is not filtered. It's not censored. This is the one podcast where we
get pretty down and dirty.
But if you don't like that kind of thing, before you leave us disgusted, remember we also have several other podcasts with much cleaner presentation. We talk about The Walking Dead. We do a week-by-week podcast and any developments in the show in between. So consider subscribing. And before we jump into this, let's do that social media info because we'll forget it. Mine is super easy. I have not even started using Periscope yet, but I plan to. So if you want to get a jump start, you can follow me there. But on Periscope, Instagram, and Snapchat, my name is I'm Justin Lloyd. All lowercase. I'm Justin Lloyd. No apostrophe, no nothing. Just all lowercase. I'm Justin Lloyd. 2 L's in Lloyd. JP, let's get your social media info.
I don't even know what Snapchat's like. J_Radsaw.
That's right.
What's Periscope?
JP's. Well, it's JP's at jpslim, right?
Yeah.
All lowercase?
Yeah. I guess that'd be the easiest way to look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah.
Follow us. And also, of course, hit that subscribe button and follow us on YouTube. Make sure to hit the little bell so you get notifications. Oh, man. What have you been up to in the last few days? JP's had a lot going on in his personal life, so that's why we had a lot of people asking why we didn't do a mail call, which I'm proud, man. We did a lot of those before we actually missed one. We haven't missed those hardly at all, but it just was a rough week. We also had to take these exams for our jobs to get certified and stuff.
Certified, bona fide. But no, I got to say thank you. Everybody showed a lot of support and love for the difficult family situation I'm going through. Dan Ashdown actually sent me a very nice message. I didn't respond, Dan. I'm sorry, but it's just one of those, things, But I appreciate.
Not every message needs a response, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just I didn't feel like talking to anyway. But yeah, man. Thank you for the support. I appreciated our friend in England, Mr. Dan Ashdown, and all our listeners got a lot of messages and comments, voicing support. It's difficult, man, like brain injuries and shit like that. It's not that I have a brain injury. I don't think so.
That we know of.
I'm a little off some days, but, I think all my neurons are firing for the most part. I've killed my fair share of brain cells over the years, but nothing, substantial. My motor functions are still with me.
That we know of.
Yeah.
No, JP's sharp. I definitely think your brain is fully operational. Maybe not early in the morning.
Yeah.
As mine isn't either. I'm not a morning person. My brain doesn't even fully turn on until about 10 or 11 o'clock.
Yeah, which I don't know, man. Getting into my 30s, I definitely feel like I don't know. Maybe the gears are slowing down a little bit. I feel more enlightened. I feel more socially adept and stuff like that. But as far as I used to read way more novels than I do now and things like this. So
now it's just comics, pretty much.
Yeah, just comics, and it's just, man, it's hard to get from the top of the page to the bottom of the page and recollect what I just read. I don't know.
Maybe so, man. I don't know. You could have some short-term memory issues caused by certain things.
Well, that's never affected reading comprehension, though. I used to get just as high as I wanted to be and read and chill and all this stuff.
It's never. Yeah, it's the same here.
But I don't know, man. They say, well, your brain's the most absorbent before you turn
25.
Yeah, I thought
You're still developing like cognitive function,
right.
And I'm not sure exactly which part of the brain it is, but it's a part of your brain that doesn't stop developing until about 25. Mm-hmm. And if you smoke too much before, that's how, like, seriously, I know several people that talk like this, really slow and just kind of, what's up, man? And I mean, they really did smoke like their weight in pot through high school. And I guess it affects people differently. Some people I know smoke their weight in a pot through high school and they're still just as quick-witted as they could be. But there are some people I can see where it does, because they say it can damage, if you smoke too much of it, it can definitely damage your, I used to know what part of the brain and all that. But
lobe or
cortex, I don't know. Yeah, something. I used to know. I used to rattle that off pretty easily, but I hadn't talked about it in a while. No, but yeah, you're definitely developing like cognitive function and you're growing. But yeah, so I don't know, but I'm really, really excited. We don't have a name for our listeners. Like some people have like... yeah,
we can't use Deadheads because I'm pretty sure that's taken.
Like on Parks and Rec, they had Douche Nation.
Yeah.
We don't have anything for our listeners. What if anybody could think of like a name to name this little online community we have, please? Just not Heaven's Gate.
No, we don't want to use that one either. It's taken as well.
I just thought about it when I
copyrighted it.
I just thought about it when I said community. Whenever somebody talks about like we're a community of people, I always just think of like a cult.
You think there's any like say we did use that and it infringed on their copyright or something? You think there's any Heaven's Gate people left to like sue us? Or
I don't even know who would give them that. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it was like an established church, right? So they had to have got some like trademark or.
Yeah, you're right. But I think they're all dead now, right?
Yeah, that's why I was wondering.
At least the vast majority that matter.
Is there even anybody left to like call us out on it? I don't know.
But what I'm excited about, follow us on social media because at the end of next month we are going on a backpacking trip. And I am so excited to get back into backpacking. I love backpacking. I love camping. I just love being outside. JP, you're actually a pretty big enthusiast of being outside. I know you like to do a lot of fishing. You love being on the lake, and you like things like hiking and such. Life kind of gets in the way, so you're probably pretty excited to get out and hike the mountain with us.
Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't like done anything outdoorsy in the last few years. Just I work weekends. I've been doing both jobs, so it's been difficult to really do anything other than just chilling in the backyard. But yeah, man, I do enjoy it. I love the mountains. I love to fish and things of this nature. So yeah, man.
Yeah, so you make sure if you follow us on social media, I'm sure JP or myself or both at some point will Periscope, Snapchat, definitely be some updates from there. It'll be fun to see us going through the woods, which like I said, we've both done a lot of camping in our life. So I mean, this isn't anything new for us, but it's just fun to finally get back out there.
Yeah, it's been a long time for me. Probably more than like 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
I didn't do as much hiking last year. Now, the year before I did a lot, and then the year before that I did a lot. But as far as like this past year, 2018, I didn't do as much hiking as I would like. So I'm trying to kick 2019 off with a lot more. I love hiking, backpacking, weekend trips. I'd love to do like a through hike, but I mean, I just don't have the funds to take 6 months off of work. Nor do I have the kind of job that would let me come back after.
Say, man, I don't think that's going to fly.
It will not.
No.
But yeah, I'm excited about that, man. You think we're going to see a bear, mountain lion?
Sasquatch? Maybe. I don't know.
That's true. And I'm sorry you keep hearing me drink. I'm really thirsty this morning, so I'm drinking a little bit of water.
Yeah, we had a lot of salted meat this morning. I'm not talking about the blowjobs either. I'm talking about the bacon.
Why were the blowjobs salty, though?
Oh, because the splooge it's salty. And plus, the shaft gets a little sweaty, so there's sodium coming out of there, and
This is gross.
It's beautiful, man. It's the human body at work. That's all.
Somebody, which we're not doing mail call, but tomorrow we got a question about your getting butt habits that I'm excited for you to have to answer. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so I don't know, man. What's going on with you? Like I said, this is the point where we talk very randomly. Like going into this hike, what are your concerns? Because we're actually going backpacking. So I mean, we're going to go into the woods on this trail, and we're going to go, miles into the woods, set up camp for the night and cook and everything there. Well, actually, I'm hoping for the first night, we're actually going to be camping right on top of the mountain. We'll be right at an overlook that we can kind of look down and see surrounding areas, really scenic. And then the next night, we're going to be kind of camping on the downhill part. But what are your thoughts? Are you nervous? Are you excited? Where's your head at?
I really hadn't thought about it enough to really. I mean, nah, man. Like I said, I hadn't been up in the mountains in a while. So
I tell you what you need to do, though. You need to go ahead now and start making sure you got everything. You don't want to wait until the week before and then be scrambling, going, "Oh my God!"
I'm sure I will.
But yeah, man, I had most of it already. I just kind of pulled it all out and put it into a pack, and most of the food I would take we already had. It's like not, items like tuna, stuff that lasts for a long time.
Right.
So I just packed a bag through that. So like essentially my bag's ready to go.
Yeah.
A month ahead of time.
Failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What kind of things do you plan on eating while you're out on the trail?
I don't know, man. Maybe we'll bring some like Cliff Bars or something.
Cliff Bars are good. You can go to Walmart and get those great value like granola bars that have because actually things like chocolate are good for you when you're on the trail because you're being active. You're using up that energy in your body. So, I mean, they have like some delicious granola bars. I do plan on bringing a bit more fruit on this trip, though. Dried fruits are really good. Get you some dried oranges. Have you ever had dried fruits?
Yeah, I'm not like crazy about them just because I always kind of leave a funky aftertaste in my mouth, and I don't like that. But
I mean, I agree with you. I don't like funky taste in my mouth either.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll find something tasty.
Yeah. I'm gonna be
Last
cooking.
time I went camping, it was on an island in a lake, and we had hallucinogenic mushrooms. But there wasn't enough to go around, so I didn't even get to have any.
You didn't have any? No kidding.
No, I didn't. I didn't bring them, and they were only enough for but anyway, man, that was crazy. Like,
how long ago was this? You said like you haven't been camping like 5 years.
Yeah,
so
it's
been a while.
That, man, it's been years and years. But no, like I went with I took two friends with me, and we were waiting on like two other friends. So the island wasn't that far away from the boat launch. But I have to go get them. I mean, it's after midnight. By the time they finally get there, I've been drinking and smoking and everything, and I'm literally on the verge of passing out.
Yeah.
But no, I have to go. Like they call, and I'm like, oh. Okay, I gotta go get them. And it's literally like a straight line from the island to the boat launch. I mean, it's dark, so it's not visible. But
luckily, you didn't run across any game wardens.
Yeah. I went to the boat launch. One buddy's waiting on me. I meet him. We imbibe a little bit, waiting on the next guy. He finally shows up, and I'm pretty twisted. And then we head back for the island. Like I said, a straight line somewhere I've been a million times. I get lost as a motherfucker, man. Like I'm out on the water. Like
this is not a good place to be and lost when your captain
dude,
is.
Like I run up on a buoy. Like our friends can hear us, but it took like 3 hours to make like a 15-minute boat ride back to the island. It was harrowing, and it was cold.
Let that be a danger. Let that be a warning of the dangers of drinking and driving. Or even drinking and boating.
I'm saying
I've gotten ridiculously inebriated and drove jet skis and stuff when I definitely should not have been.
I'm talking about punctuality. Be punctual. Don't wait for me to pass out and then show up and need a ferry. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
That was a harrowing night. Good grief.
Right. Everybody can't be as punctual as old JP. You're pretty punctual. I think you're on time most of the time.
Generally speaking, yeah. You ask the people at my other job, they might not think so. Especially now that I'm stepping down from that, I'm just kind of filling in until they replace me, and so now I'm just kind of like, I'll show up when I show up. You know what I'm saying?
I'll run this mother.
Yeah.
I'll come in when I want.
It's like I got one foot. I got both feet out the door. Basically, I'm just kind of peeking my head in.
That's a great analogy. What I'm really hoping is that if JP gets his boat up and running, man, we really have been talking about. I really want to do I really want to go camping / fishing, like you're talking about earlier. I want us to find like one of those little islands out in the lake, carry all our fishing gear, a couple of coolers of beers, and just whatever else, and just sit on the bank and
Yeah, it's great, man. Especially if you go during the week, it's super crazy out there on the weekend. Just
that's a popular lake.
Jet skis and it's.
We could take off a day or two, take off a day, and then right after work, just leave and go straight out there.
Yeah, man. Like if we camped on a Sunday night and then just enjoyed the lake the following Monday, that could be doable.
And we could share it with our listeners.
Yeah, we could share many things with them. But
well, you were working Saturday? Were you not?
Yeah, I
you were
work
working
pretty much every Saturday right now.
I was playing Far Cry New Dawn, and a random idea hit me. I was like, hey, why don't I stream? Because it's just a click of a button, and boom, we're live and connected with our YouTubers. I do a little bit of Twitch streaming, but I just don't get, too many. That's a platform we don't really do anything on. Mm-hmm. So I don't really. So I usually just tend to do it on YouTube, and I feel like over time Twitch would gain more because people are there just to watch gaming, whereas a lot of our listeners are not into video games. But we did like a Q&A session. It's just, I was like, they could ask me something while I'm playing. And I actually, talked a lot to Jovi Gal and our buddy James that listens all the time. And I actually had my buddy, you know who I'm talking about. James was at my house playing a video game on a TV right beside me. The redheaded suck-up.
Right.
As he became known.
Yeah.
He got kind of viral there for a while. I'm just talking about his STDs. Hey-ho! I'm just playing. I don't think he has STDs. But I'm not going to promise he doesn't. But we talked to them, and James and I had not my friend James, but my other friend James from the podcast. One of our listeners. He and I were having drinks together.
Oh, that's awesome,
Jovi Gal, people were asking about you, asking what was going on, and concerned about you. So just know that you were there in spirit.
Stitch. Yeah, man. I was up at the hospital last night for about 4 hours, man. I said it's really a Walking Dead type scenario, man. When you got somebody with just enough brain function to blink and breathe and open their mouth, man, like you really, I would never do it, but you kind of want to stab them in the brain because you're afraid to fall asleep because they might eat you alive.
Yeah, man, and that's awful, man. That's terrible. I hate to laugh at your family's,
that's all you can do, man. That's like, I've got to the point, man. It is what it is. What are you going to do? You got to.
Right.
I would hope if that was me there, man, y'all be having some chuckles. Like, I'd rather have laughs than tears around my deathbed. You know what I mean? So. He
says that now, but he's like, you motherfuckers better cry.
Yeah. I don't know for like fans of The Amazing Spider-Man, the comic book, I was also like putting myself in a superior Spider-Man type situation. I was worried, man, if I fall asleep around this motherfucker, what if I wake up?
And you're in his body?
And I'm in his body, and he's hijacked mine, and I, the superior JP shows up to the station the next day.
That would be very interesting.
Do you think you would realize if it was someone had hijacked my body?
Oh, without a doubt. I hate to you're a very unique individual, so I definitely think unless he's a lot like you, I think that I would be able to figure out that something's not right with JP.
Well, man, I know for a while Doc Ock had access to Peter Parker's memories and stuff.
You think he was doing naughty things, playing back Peter and Mary Jane's intimacy? You got to think he's got access to all those memories.
Well, man, one of the weirdest parts of that story arc, Doc Ock was intimate with Aunt May way back. So he's in Peter's body now. He's smashed Aunt May, and now it's some weird kind of incestuous stuff.
It'd be really weird.
Huh?
Well, no, Peter was in his body, I guess. It was his dying body.
Yeah,
so Peter was in the body that had sex with his aunt.
Sure enough.
If he wasn't Peter wasn't dying in Doc Ock's body, if we went to take a leak, it's just that's Aunt May. No.
Yeah.
I imagine if you're a deep thinker and that was to happen to you, it would just be a nightmare of anxiety.
I've
never thought of that, man. Leave it to, again, like I said, you're super unique. Leave it to JP to bring that up. I wouldn't have thought about it.
Yeah, man. Nothing like, a little depravity to add to a family tragedy. But,
yeah.
But no, man. I think about stuff like that, who knows what goes on with brain and stuff. Who's to say that hadn't happened before, hijacking somebody's body and stranding them in a...
Well, speaking of which, how's your family doing?
Man, it's
tough.
Yeah.
I'm sure it is.
Because, with my family, my granny Nana had 3 daughters. Each daughter had 1 son, and he was the first of the litter. And so, yeah, man, it's been tough on them. Like I said, I stayed from ate till about midnight last night, and then my mom came and took over for me, and just sitting in the room with and she's definitely not taking it very well. And
talking about your mom or your granny?
No, my mom. I mean, nobody is, but my mom definitely, because it wasn't just like her nephew. This was like her best friend in a lot of ways. I mean, they hung out as friends, and
this was her sister's son.
Yeah, her oldest sister's son, and it's weird because my mom's been a registered nurse for 20 plus years. So I mean, she this is like for us, it's like voice tracking a morning show,
right?
But it's just the fact that it's so personal. I mean, it just takes it to a whole other place.
Yeah, that's got to be rough to deal with.
Yeah, man. It ain't been no fun. But I've been stepping up, man, when they need me there. I mean, provided it's not during working hours. I'm there and I'm doing my thing. And
yeah, you've been there pretty much their beck and call. I mean, which I know it's you want to be there, but I'm just saying, JP. So if we did, like we missed a mail call podcast last week. I mean, right now it's just things are hectic.
Yeah,
so if we do miss anything, now you kind of get an idea of what's going on with JP, so you know that. Because it was one morning you had to roll out of here at like 8:30 and you had to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like last Wednesday we got the MRI back and knew the brain damage was pretty much like irreversible. Like we knew his brain was fucked.
Right.
So like Wednesday and Thursday, even Friday, man, I was very emotionally compromised and plus we had to do that exam on top of things, and so I was not in a good place like towards the end of last week. And
it's understandable. I mean, it was a weird place to be.
Yeah, man. Like I said, because I mean, leading up to that, I mean, we expected him to bounce back. He was just kind of that guy that no matter what he got into, be it with the law or with this or with that, he just kind of always ended up on top. But not this time. And now we've got certain conspiracy theories that are rolling around as far as tainted stuff he might have got a hold of, and people who
what?
Yeah, man. Like
I've not. This is a development for me. Usually JP fills me in. I hadn't heard about this. So tainted. I mean, you think?
Well, I mean, it was an overdose situation, and
you still think it was intentional, though?
I mean,
well, does the tainted stuff throw the possibility that maybe it was not intentional?
It's hard to say. I mean, all signs point to, it was an intentional overdose.
Right.
But he, I don't know if you're familiar with K2.
It's is that synthetic weed?
Synthetic marijuana, yeah. He, he was on probation, so he couldn't smoke weed, obviously. But, and pills and stuff are easier to flush out of your system. I'm not saying, but anyway. So there was a pouch of that found, and looking through text messages and stuff, a drug dealer he owed money to basically just gave him this stuff. And you're like, if you owe money to a drug dealer, they generally don't give you freebies.
Right.
So we're thinking maybe it was like a hot dose. But then again, I don't know if the symptoms line up. I don't know, man. It's just one of those things that we'll never know exactly, what transpired. And it just kind of, is what it, at this point, would make a difference anyway. I mean, of course, if that did happen, you want to go, exact some vigilante justice, but
or just call the law and they'll take care of it.
Well, I mean, we don't actually have the stuff, and K2 doesn't. You can't test for it, and it's just
What would your vigilante MO what would your vigilante? What would you be as a superhero? Like you're a vigilante superhero, basically, or whatever. What's your vigilante name? I don't know why that was so hard for me to ask. What is your? It's early, and I'm got my eyes closed right now. I'm so tired. What would your vigilante name be?
Golly,
you can't be the Punisher. Sadly, I think if you're going to be a vigilante, the Punisher is just
I know that one's
the best.
Taken. Man, I don't know. You got me stumped. I don't know what I would.
The Dominatrix.
That guy. I could dress in all leather.
Submit to my wrath, bitch. Submit, bitch. I don't know. What do you think JP's vigilante persona should be? I'm having so much trouble talking this morning. I think it was really. Oh God. I think we were really sleepy on the last one we did. Was it the Monday when I couldn't stop yawning for The Walking Dead?
Yeah, but that was take one that we ended up scrapping.
Yeah, there was a podcast we got rid of. Because
do you still have it, or did you just totally delete it?
It's probably still there.
Yeah, I mean,
the
archives.
I don't know that I saved it, but I just couldn't stop yawning, and I couldn't get my head straight. It's just one of those times where it was not feeling it, and then I just did not want to put that out there because I felt like And not that we give you guys the greatest content in the world, but we like to give you the best of what we can do. Mm-hmm. And that did not feel like it fit with that. And so we actually, what you heard from Monday was actually a second take.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's good to archive that stuff, We might eventually put out a DVD and need some bonus content. So, everybody be buying DVDs now.
Yeah. Maybe we'll put out a CD.
Yeah, maybe.
Instead of a DVD, it's a CD. I'm thinking about getting myself a new MacBook. If I do that, or the quality of the content that we put out will get significantly better. I would actually start doing some video editing, throwing in clips from the show, and when we're talking about The Walking Dead, and so I'm considering doing that. So if that happens here in the next few weeks, I thought about it a while back, and then. That's about the time we found out we were having a baby, so that kind of derailed my mind from that. But now I'm thinking one of my buddies got a little MacBook, and I learned how to do video and sound editing on a MacBook, basically. So actually on an iMac, but still on Mac operating. It's like It's been a while, but after using his last night, I just got that Mac bug again. I'm like, God, our podcast could be so much better if I had this. I could throw in, when we're reviewing episodes, I could throw in clips, like actual video from the episode along with images. And then when we do these random Rambling Wednesdays, I could have images and video that pop up and go along with what we're talking about and add sound. I mean, I could just do so much more. One listener was kind enough to send us some free video editing software, and I think we got MPEG DVD Maker or something, and it was working wonderful. I actually was very much enjoying it. It was very user-friendly and doing great. And then out of nowhere, a couple of weeks ago, it just stopped working. I can't even get it to open.
I'd love to get a new MacBook myself. So mine's still...
I was going to say, all you need to do is take yours to the Mac store.
Yeah, it could use some refurbishing.
Yeah, it still runs fairly well, I'd say.
Yeah, man, it's held up almost 10 years strong.
You've had that thing for a while, so definitely gotten your money's worth.
Yeah, for sure.
And with old jpslim owning it, it's no telling what it's been through and what it's seen. Half the time when I use it, I'm terrified of what might pop up on the screen.
I was going to say, man, sometimes I close that MacBook and it's hard to open it back up, you know what I'm saying?
Chilling stuff.
Yeah. Well, no, it's warm when it goes on there, but by the time I shut it, it just kind of, and then it's like cracking open a clamshell. That's because of all the ejaculant from where I masturbate to online pornography.
I'm glad you clarified that. Yeah. I didn't know if you were talking about like a food issue.
No, it's my ejaculant.
Right, some semen
where I masturbate. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, it's healthy. Everybody does every now and again. So.
Hey, man, best way to wake up and best way to fall asleep.
Wait, so you do that before you come in the mornings?
Oh, well, no. Now with this job, I can't wake up at 6 a.m. and do it. The blood doesn't flow that quickly down there anymore. I mean, in general or just in the morning? That early, man. I mean, if I really needed to make it happen, I guess I could. But
focus my power on my erection. Come on, Dick.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be nearly as punctual. I'd be a little bit more relaxed when I came in, but not nearly as punctual.
You got this, penis.
And God, that'd probably make me fall back asleep, which I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, then you just be like, all right, it's time to go to work.
But I don't know. Sometimes it's good, man. Like if you can like shoot that wad and then get right on your feet. Like just jump right up on your feet, man. It is a good way to
the image that came along with that is disturbing.
I'm just saying, man. Like if I can just like springboard myself right on my feet, it is a good way to get going.
And I think I do not think this is the first time on our Random Rambling Wednesdays that we have a Random Wednesday. I don't even know what the hell we call this segment. This is not the first time that JP's talked about masturbation.
I've probably talked about it on all our podcasts, but I mean, look, it's a big part of my life. I'm not afraid to admit it. Is it to that you owe your success?
maybe my mental health, it was definitely a coping mechanism as an adolescent.
And, I mean, it's still, man, it's no better way to quell anxiety than with a nice, getting that poison out. Got to get that poison out.
So you're saying that our seed is poison?
Yeah, I certainly think so. I mean, I've got an old comedy bit comparing it to toxic waste and all this stuff. I can't remember exactly how it went, but it gets some laughs. Sure it does.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Well, I reckon that's going to wrap up this week's Random Ramblings Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. I in that bit, I say that splooge is a lot like toxic waste because there's really no good way to dispose of either one. Is that? And yeah, it goes on from there. I'll get it together. We'll talk about it next week.
Okay. All right. Was there anything else you want to leave the listeners with before we sign off?
No, man. I want to just sign off and go home so I can get the poison out. That's it.
Hey, what you do at your house is your business, brother.
That's it, brother.
Well, once again, we will see you tomorrow for a mail call podcast. I'm excited. We didn't get to do last week, so we got some extra questions that people have left in other videos to kind of make up the difference. So we'll be answering your questions tomorrow. Until then, I'm Justin.
And I'm JP.
And we are the Podcasting Dead. Oh, don't start doing that right now.